class, we will see 3 different ways of ordering data and representing it in a visual way in order to have a better understanding of it. First, we have the circle graph. The circle graph, also known as a pie chart, is a circle that represents 100% of our data divided in small parts, and each part represents a percentage of the data. Then we have the bar graph. The bar graph help us to see the frequency of our data, and it is represented in bars. In the line graph, we have changes over time. In both the bar and the line graph, we need to have 2 axes. The axes are these lines in here, where we have the data and the frequency in the case of bar graphs, and in the case of line graph, we have our data in the vertical axis and time in our horizontal axis. Let's dive into each one of these. Now, for the circle graph, we have this example in our presentation. It's the skill check number 1. It is representing the fundraising for a mission trip, and we have that in January. The fundraising was $200. In February it was $100. March $400, April $500, March was $600. And we have to analyze this data. The first question is, in which month did the most money come in? And how much money was it? This makes it easier to identify why. Which month was the one that had the most money? The one with the biggest part. Okay, so it would be May. And how much money was raised? $600. Question number 2. In which month did the least money come in? Well, that would be the smallest part of the chart, which would be February. With $100. Third question, by how much did the greater exceeded the least? Okay, what is the difference between these two? The difference is $500. Question number 4 is asking, how much did Jeremy raise for his mission trip? We have 600 in May, 400 in June, we have 1,000, 1,500, 1,900, 2,000, 2,400. So number 4 is $2,200. Next, we have the steps to make a circle graph, and we have an example also in our presentation. Let's do it. First, we need to find the total values to be graphed. And in our example, we have that. We have 6 families that go on bus, 4 that go on train. $35 by plane. And 75 that go by car. is our total. $75 plus 35, we have 110, plus 10, we have 120. Our total is 120. That is our first step. Second step is to divide each value by the total to find the percent for each value. So let's find the percent. What percentage of the people of the families went by bus? We divide 6 by 120, which is 0.05. Now we divide 4 by 120. We also divide 35 by 120 and 75 by 120. And that way we will have the percentages. And these are our percentages. The next step is to multiply each of them by 360 to find the number of degrees in each sector of our pie chart or circle graph. And these are our degrees. The percentages should make up the total, which would be 1 or 100%, while the degrees should all add up to 360. Now, our next and last step is to draw the circle. You should use a compass. And include a radio. And from this radio we will start using our protractor to measure the degrees. Since I don't have a protractor, I will try to make them as accurate as possible, but you should use a protractor. To use a protractor, you should place the center of the protractor in the center of the circle, and the 0 mark of the protractor should be in this line. Then you measure 18 degrees and draw another line, and this would be the families that go by bus. You need to label each of them. Then you make one. Then you move the protractor to start in the following line and measure 12 degrees. These are the families that go by train. Next, we will measure 105 degrees, and these will be the families that go by plane, and the rest is the families that go by car. We always have to label the chart because we wouldn't be able to identify each one otherwise, and if possible we should place the percentages that they represent. Here would be 63%, this would be 29%, train is 3%, and bus is 5%. steps to make a bar graph. First, we need to draw and label the horizontal and vertical axes. We draw the axes. Hopefully they are straight. Please use a ruler. And the squares in your notebook. And we have to label them. Here we have the frequency or the quantity of students. This is the students. And this is the subjects. And we're going to write the name of each of the subjects. We can write just the initial: math, science, English, history, and Bible. These are our subjects. Next step, choose a scale to fill the data, then mark equal intervals along one axis. Okay? Our interval, the interval that best fits this data, would be 5 by 5. Okay? So we will label 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. Now we are going to draw a bar for each of our subjects. We have 25 students that have math as their favorite subject. So we're going to draw a bar that goes all the way up to 25. It is important that the bars are separate from each other. Okay, we will see another way of graphing data further on, and it's different. Okay, but for this bar graph, we are going to make the bars separated from each other. Now, for science, we have 30 students. So we are going to make a bar that goes all the way to 30. For English, we'll go all the way to 20. For history, we go back up to 30. And for Bible, we get to 35. And that is our bar graph. Okay, it's really simple. We just compare our data with our frequency. The steps to make a line graph are very similar to making a bar graph. Okay? So the first step is exactly the same. We will make the axis vertical and horizontal. The second step is also to choose a scale, and we are going to choose, this time we have sit-ups of Kelly. Kelly was doing sit-ups, and this is her average per month. So we are going to label them. In this axis, we always have time. And here we will have the sit-ups. Now we will make a scale to fit. We should do a 2 by 2 intervals, and we can start by another number that is not 0. In this case, I think we could start at 16. And we will go up 2 by 2. We will also label the months. We have January, February, March, April, and May. Our next step is to plot a point on each of the months according to the scale. In January, she did 19. We would be here, in between 18 and 20. For February, we would be in 26. For March, we would go back down to 24. For April, we would go to 32. And for May, we would go up to 36. Next, we have to connect the points. And we see a tendency. The tendency is that she is increasing the quantity of sit-ups she does on every month. The last step in all of the graphs is to title the plot. This title would be Kelly's sit-ups. That would be the title of her graph. That's it for today, guys. I hope you understood the topic. If you have any questions, you can log in to the Facebook Live Q&A. You can also post them in the comments. Don't forget to solve the exercises, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.